A very good evening and a very warm welcome. This is Weekend Primetime News here on MTV Sports. I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandara. As always, we'll start off with a look at the headlines. Over 20 persons injured after a train collided with a bus in Beruala. The amended electricity tariffs effective from today.
නිකුත් කරන බිල් මැයි මාස 20 වෙනිදායින් පසුව සිට නව බිල් හැටියට නව ගෙවීම් කිරීමට සිදුවන්නේ.
President emphasizes that service should be rendered to the people having no fear of criticism. Sewage from the Dubara prison released to the Mahaweli River. Suspect number 2 in the Boston bombings arrested. And over 150 killed in earthquake in China. On to those stories in detail now. Dozens were injured following a collision involving a bus and a train in Beruala this evening. The accident took place at the Rockland Junction unguarded railway crossing in Beruala. The police said that this accident took place 100 meters from the Maggona Bridge towards Beruala. The bus was travelling from Kandy to down south, while the train was flying from Colombo to Galle. The accident had resulted in a major traffic congestion along the Galle road. Now the police adds that measures have been taken to control the traffic situation in the area. Police media spokesperson SSP Prashant Jakuru said that 23 injured persons had been admitted to the Nagoda hospital. He added that 4 of them are in serious condition and are receiving treatment at the intensive care unit. On to other local news now. President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that individuals should engage in public service in an honest manner without fear of criticism. The president made this statement during a function held at the North Central Province Chief Minister's office in Anuradhapura.
A meeting of provincial politicians from the Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa districts took place yesterday at the North Central Province Chief Minister's office. If we speak and think positively, then we will be able to face problems positively. Do not fear criticism. Serve the people honestly. People will berate you. Look at how much criticism is leveled at me. I am being attacked all the time through the internet. They attack my family as well. They attack Gotabaya, and now they have even begun attacking my children. I believe that you are aware about this, and I hope you will continue to work with the people, keeping this in mind.
The revised electricity tariffs will be in effect from today. Speaking on News First, Additional Finance Manager of the CEB, PK Kulatungu, noted that the revised prices will be included on the electricity bill for the month of May.
The new tariff increase has been effective with 20th of April 2013. However, the payment will effect from 20th May 2013 because we are serving the electricity bill after 30 or 31 days period of time. It is not according to the calendar month. CB delivers the electricity bill when the meter reader comes to your house. It delivers for a 30 or 31 days period, and in the principle CB sells electricity on credit basis. Consumer enjoy the benefit of using electricity for a 30 days period, then subsequently when the bill is served to them, they have to make the payment once the bill is received. Though the electricity bill price increase effect on 20th April, the payment will commence after May 20th or subsequent date, once the meter reader is delivered the bill for a 30 or 31 days period.
Over the past few days, we examined the manner in which the revision of electricity tariffs would affect the consumers. Today, we focus our attention on how the revision would affect industries. According to the revised electricity tariffs issued by the Public Utilities Commission, small-scale industrialists which fall under Category 1 will have to spend a sum of 12 rupees and 50 cents on a unit of electricity. Earlier, a unit of electricity was sold to them at a price of 10 rupees and 50 cents. The fixed price, which earlier stood at 240 rupees, has been increased to 600 rupees. A fuel adjustment charge of 15% will also be added to the electricity bills. Medium-scale industries, which fall under Category 2, have also been affected by the revised electricity prices. The PUC has divided the day into 3 time frames, namely daytime, peak hours and off-peak hours. Prices will be charged according to the time of the day when electricity is consumed. The price of a unit of electricity, which stood at 10 rupees and 45 cents during day, has risen to 11 rupees and 30 cents. Earlier, 13 rupees and 60 cents was charged from a unit of electricity during peak hours. This has now risen to 21 rupees. However, the price of a unit of electricity during non-peak hours has been reduced by 35 cents. The fixed price charge for medium-scale enterprises remains unchanged. However, the maximum demand charge has been increased from 850 rupees to 1100 rupees. A fuel adjustment charge of 15% will also be added to the bill. We also inquired into how the revision in electricity prices would affect large-scale industries which fall under Category 3. The energy charge during the day has increased by 25 cents from 10 rupees and 25 cents to 10 rupees and 50 cents. The price of a unit of electricity during peak hours has increased to 24 rupees. The price earlier stood at 13 rupees and 40 cents, which is an increase of 79%. The 7 rupees and 50 cents, which was earlier charged for a unit of electricity during off-peak hours, has been reduced through the revised electricity tariffs to 6 rupees. The fixed charge remains at 3,000 rupees, while the fuel adjustment charge of 15% also remains unchanged. The maximum demand charge, which earlier stood at 750 rupees, has been increased to 1,000 rupees. Meanwhile, UNP parliamentarians Iran Vikramaratne and Mangala Samarveera shared these thoughts on the electricity tariffs.
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් බඩු මිල ඉහළට යනකොට අපි හිතනවා 5ක් 10ක් විතර ඉහළට යයි කියලා. නමුත්
Usually when prices are increased, we expect something in the range of 5 to 10%. However, the government has decided to increase tariffs by around 75% on an average. The CEB collects 50 billion rupees annually. They hope to increase this to 86 billion. When prices of electricity are rising, the government has no plans on how to steer the economy. People have to pay for wastage and corruption as well.
නාස්තිය දූෂණය දැන් කාට හරි ගෙවන්න සිදු වෙලා තිබෙනවා.
සාමාන්‍ය කෙනෙකුට ලයිට් බිල නොගෙවා දවසක් හරි ඉන්න මේ ආණ්ඩුවෙන් ඉඩ දෙන්නේ නැහැ.
This government will not allow an ordinary person a grace period of even one day to pay the electricity bill. On the other hand, no matter how much electricity they use, government ministers only pay 2,000 rupees. I know this. It was the same for us back in the day. The losses of the CEB increase every day because they keep the lights on all night to celebrate Christmas and hold night races. I asked the government how much was spent on one night of the night races. They play cricket matches under floodlights at night, not because of any love they have for the sport, but for the progress of the other son's company, Carlton Sports Network.
ක්‍රිකට් ගහන්නේ ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩාවට තියෙන ආදරයට වඩා Carlton Sports Network කියන අනිත් පුතාගේ කොම්පැනියේ දියුණුව වෙනුවට.
Let's now take a look at the newspaper cartoon of the day.
th breakdown at the Norachole coal power plant. Defect rectified at the power plant. Chairman of the CEB. The coal power plant was constructed with the aim of generating 280 megawatts to the national grid and to provide electricity at a lower rate. Can the power plant, which was built at a short time span, achieve its stated objectives in this backdrop? Who is vested with the responsibility of using the nation's money in a productive manner?
The US State Department's country reports on human rights practices for 2012 has revealed that there were many human rights violations in Sri Lanka last year.
The report issued by the US State Department indicated that there has been a reduction in the efforts made by the government of Sri Lanka to achieve reconciliation with the country's minority Tamils. The US State Department points out that enforced and involuntary disappearances in Sri Lanka continues to be a problem, and the government had failed to publish any significant progress made with regard to the disappearances from past years. The report goes on to note that abuses involving police torture, attacks on media institutions and sexual abuse continue to be a serious problem. Dr. Pratibha Mahanamaheva, Sri Lanka's Human Rights Commissioner, said that it is doubtful whether the United States carried out a comprehensive study before releasing the report in question.
Clearly analyzing this report, certain statistics are there, certain facts are there. Whether these statistics and the facts are given in a very credible way, or whether these facts are true or basically misleading, that you have to really read this report and you have to make a review and analysis. This report has made basically some of these facts they have not done in Sri Lanka, or the investigations are not done in Sri Lanka. Third parties given the information, based on that they may have prepared that. So really speaking, certain facts they have exaggerated. For an example, disappearance, abduction, reconciliation, and also you can see freedom of expression. So those are biased sometimes. The facts, we can't actually prove it. On the other hand, Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission for the year 2012 issued Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission report for 2012. In that it is clearly explained, these are all ground facts and investigations done in Sri Lanka, inspection done in Sri Lanka.
Well, the Centre for Policy Alternatives says that a fundamental and thoroughgoing overhaul of Sri Lanka's constitution is necessary in order to adequately address unresolved issues of democracy and pluralism. These views were expressed in its report titled The Impeachment of the Chief Justice, the Independence of the Judiciary and the Rule of Law in Sri Lanka. The Centre for Policy Alternatives noted through its report that the impeachment of the 43rd Chief Justice of the country revives important questions about the health of Sri Lanka's democracy. It notes that although there was outrage against the assaults carried out against judicial officers and threats levelled at lawyers, an analysis of the constitutional weakness, history of executive behaviour and the culture of politics reveals that this was almost preordained. According to the CPA report, the current administration inherited a framework of government which they could readily deploy to achieve its own objectives of regime consolidation through the hyper-centralization of power. The report titled The Impeachment of the Chief Justice, the Independence of the Judiciary and the Rule of Law in Sri Lanka also provides recommendations which are aimed at addressing these issues. The CPA recommends that a fundamental and thorough overhaul of Sri Lanka's constitution should take place to address issues of democracy. It also recommends that a constitutional limitation should be imposed on the number of ministers and limitation on the members of parliament holding any other remunerated office connected with the executive. The Centre for Policy Alternatives also notes that a complete prohibition should be imposed which effectively stops any member of parliament that crosses over from the opposition from holding ministerial positions or other remunerated executive office. It also recommends that the urgent bill procedure which has been abused be abolished. The CPA is also of the view that the doctrine of the supremacy of parliament must be unequivocally repudiated and the supremacy of the constitution be reaffirmed. The report also calls on the 18th Amendment to the Constitution be repealed and the two-term limit of the presidential term be restored. The report of the CPA also recommends that the independence and impartiality of judges be constitutionally reaffirmed in line with contemporary standards reflected in restatements of best practice such as the Bangalore Principles of Judicial Conduct and the Latmia House Guidelines. It adds that judges should not be impeached on the basis of findings of fact by members of parliament. The report concludes by stating that the government should constructively engage with international mechanisms and UN special procedures.